Are in our last step of lesson 4, working with the width tool. Now in the other version of the text, it was no one's friend. It was very difficult. I think the 2015 version of the book explains it better. So we're going to pull up artboards and we're going to go back on to bird 6. And what we have here is a nice straight line. And we need to kind of pull it out, kind of cut it open, pull it wider, and then make it not just a single line with a stroke. So we're going to pull the width tool in our tools panel, which is actually kind of this mustache looking thing, Shift W. And we want to make sure our smart guides are on. Yes. And we're going to kind of click a point in the middle of this path. We're going to click it and drag out. And as you can see, it kind of takes that point, and from that point it changes the width. And we want the width to be approximately a 1/2 inch. There we go. And it's nice and wide now. And then these are the kind of the handles. You can see we highlighted all. We can position the pointer in different spots to kind of make arrangements and adjustments. So I'm just going to pick a point there, and we're going to shift and drag up. So it looks kind of like an acorn leaf-like shape. And I was able to do that because where it's hovered has that tilde right there. We can even double click and add values in it too. So we're going to actually click at the very top, double click, and it gives us this values, this dialog box. We can change one side or both sides, and we only want to change one side. So we're going to check side 1, 0.18. Actually, I want that to be both sides. Actually, hit cancel. Double click up there. Click that link first. 1/8. There we go. And we want to click OK, and it's kind of gotten a flattened edge there. And you can do some other points for positions and whatnot. So we're going to position our pointer over original 1, which is right there. Or press Option or Alt, and we're going to drag down. And we're just kind of poise around with our width point. And look at the figure, it's going to be kind of like 3/4, right about there. So it kind of has kind of a wider bottom. And we're going to adjust the handles on the side. So side 1 and 2, we both want to be about 1/3 down here. There we go. Now mine looks a little different than the book just because of where I placed this curve. You can always kind of just make adjustments up like that. Just kind of play around with it to get exactly where you want. And it wants us to kind of have one edge that's a little less, so we're on side 2. We're going to kind of do another option, drag, no, just do another half out. And we're just going to pull it in to about 0.23. We're one side. this size. Hold down Option, drag to change one side. 0.23 this one. We're just going to delete. And again, you might want to play around with some different effects. To get your bird wherever you're looking. Kind of try to match the book, but you can kind of have your own unique bird. So what we're going to do is take our selection tool and select this here. And as you can see over here, it's still just a stroke line. So now we're going to go to Object Path Outline Stroke. So that takes this one stroke into a closed shape. As you can see, we have a bunch of different anchor points there, and we're just going to do an Object Transform Rotate to 45 degrees angles. And what we're going to do is kind of build our bird. Our mouth goes there. We want to zoom in real close so it looks good. We've got our wings and our eyes. Do Command S and we are ready to kind of build our birds over. And we're just going to make sure everything is grouped in their areas. So I'm going to do Select, Command G, and all of these artboards. Just to make sure everything is grouped. Okay, so when we move it, we just move everything. So we're going to kind of just move everything over into their spots. So we may want to go look back. Alright, so our newest bird's over there, toucan, our one with the funny arm. Zoom out a little. So our newest bird . And we're going to actually, instead of just doing that, we're going to do an Option drag. So we're just kind of making a copy. We may need to resize them. And I'm just going to do Shift, kind of resize there till he fits in that spot. Maybe make them a bit bigger. And remember, when we're using Illustrator, we have infinite rescalability. Nudge him on over. And then our toucan. Option drag, fits right there. Our bird with the funny arm, Option drag, fits there. Look back and we have our first bird and then our butterfly. Now we would be done, but remember, we have to recolor this bird. Now, the wings, the dark red needs to be a dark purple. And it doesn't really have specifics on which purple, just a light purple and a dark purple. So I'm going to kind of zoom in. And I'm going to select the body, and I'm just do a shift for this eyeball because they're both different shapes. And over here I'm going to double click and change my slider to a nice light purple. And I'm going to shift both the dark purple reds parts to make it to a dark purple. And I'm just double clicking the color in my toolbar. I got these two purples. Cool, so I'm going to do Command S to save. We will turn in this Illustrator file and we will export. So we have 6 artboards. But we actually don't really need these artboards. So we're just going to export artboard 1. File, export. JPEG. And we want to make sure use artboards because we want this artboard to define our area, not the artwork. So if we didn't click it, it would actually use the end of this hand as a definition of the size of our picture that we're exporting. And we're going to do range, just 1. Export, make sure this matches. Cool. And we would be able to turn in our project. Well, stay tuned for lesson 5 for the 2015 textbook.